Hey folks, it's man once again coming at you with another review thanks to ClassicRocker. This is a film that overall I enjoyed. It was a film I was entertained. It was released by the PM Entertainment Group. This is a group that released a lot of films in the 90s that I've seen and really enjoyed. You know, some stuff from Gary Daniels, even Jeff Speakman, stuff with Roy Scheider, Michael Madsen, and quite a few films. You know, Jack Scalia. I've reviewed quite a bit. I mean, Jeff Wincott movies. I've mentioned PM Entertainment. Thanks to you guys. You guys helped me find PM Entertainment, find these movies that are like, wow, there's a lot of action in these movies. And quite a bit of action in this film called Private Wars, starring Steve Railsback. Now, Steve Railsback starred in, he was in Life Force. I remember him from a couple episodes of The X-Files as a character named Dwayne Barry, who was a pretty crazed abductee. I forgot the movie that he's very popular for. I know he was in The Stuntman, which I haven't seen that film. He was in Alligator 2. Blue Monkey, which I enjoyed Blue Monkey. He was a small part in Armed and Dangerous John Candy. I remember that part. I really enjoyed it. He was Charlie Manson in Helter Skelter TV movie. And then he also played Ed Dean in a film called Ed Dean, which I remember seeing that once, and he did a good job. Haven't seen it forever, but he did a good job. Alligator 2, that's a film I don't think it's on DVD. That's a film I want to watch again, but maybe it's on DVD, but I don't have it. I think it might be pretty spendy though. Turkey Shoot, which I know my friend Effrey liked, but I haven't seen that film. Been quite a few films. But Steve Railsback, I thought he did a really good job in this film. Directed by John Wiedner. This is the same guy who directed a film called Midnight Man and a film called Space Marines. He was mainly an editor. He edited a lot of films for PM Entertainment. Ring of Fire, Final Impact, Daily Bed, Maximum Force, Out for Blood, Ring of Fire 2. He directed and edited this one. He edited Red Sun Rising, Fists of Iron. So he's mainly an editor, but this was one of the chances he got to direct, and I thought he did a pretty decent job. Then other films he directed was Midnight Man with Lorena Lamas, James Liu, and Mako. And James Liu is in this film as a villain. James Liu, he's the guy who in Time Cop, remember Time Cop, the fight scene Van Damme has in his underwear with the Asian guy. He's the Asian guy. They have that little knife fight. That's James Liu. He's been in other films as well, but that's where I remember him most from. Film also stars, I like this guy, played by Dan Tullis Jr., this big black guy. His character's name is Mo. He was a guy who buddies with Steve Railsback. I liked him. I thought he did a good job. I liked him. And then you also have Michael Champion. He's in the film as a chief of police who's pretty much corrupt. He's pretty much best known, I would say, as sort of the lead henchman for Michael Ironside in Total Recall. He's the guy that the little girl stabbed in the stomach with the glasses, and he's the guy with the tractor. That's Michael Champion. He's in this film. Stuart Whitman, he's sort of the main crime boss guy. Stuart Whitman, he's been in a lot of films. Was he in... I want to see if it's him or someone else I'm thinking of. Is it him or someone else I'm thinking of? For some reason, I thought this was the guy in Motel Hell, but I think that's someone else, actually. Yeah, that's someone else. Stuart Whitman, he's been in quite a few films. A lot of older films, especially. But anyway, plot of the film is fairly simple. It's these bad guys and this crime boss and such want these people to get out of their old neighborhood, to abandon their homes, because the bad guy wants to build this business thing there, this business center. So it's kind of like stuff that I would see a lot on the A-Team and stuff, where, you know, bad guys want to run these people off so that the big crime boss guy can own the area and tear it all down and build something else. And not just the A-Team, but there's a lot of action movies that had that kind of plot. And Steve Railsback, he's a cop that actually at the beginning he starts out in a stakeout, and these other cops start shooting at him. And they have a pretty decent chase at the beginning where he's driving this van and one of the cops is actually in front of the van and it's like hanging on to the front of the van. So you have a real life person, real life stuntman in front of this van, and it's wide shot, so you know this is all for real. And it's crashing through this and going through that. And the cop, these are pretty much dirty cops, he falls off, and this van does a huge fucking sail. Like, you know how a vehicle hits and they sail? Huge fucking sail. This, I swear, this van was as high as a one-story building. Like if it flew and there was a one-story building, it'd get to the roof. I mean, it was fucking high. How huge fucking they did this sail this van. And pretty much the dirty cops fuck him over because again, Michael Champion is chief of police, and you know they're dirty, and he gets fucked over. And it's 8 years later, and he's an alcoholic. And again, the same time, this neighborhood, bad guys are coming in. Naturally, the guy I mentioned, Mo, you know, this big black guy, he stops one of the guys from fucking with these people at a grocery store, has a shotgun, says, "You better eat these peppers, and you don't be shitting fire for a week. Now start eating." That's what I liked about this film. This film does have a sense of humor to it. It's pretty funny. That and Steve Railsback, I would say, is the best part of the film. So it makes a guy eat these chili peppers. But then later on, the bad guys come back, and the one guy, not his buddy, the Mo character, but another guy, he had also stood up to these guys, and the bad guys come in and blow up the place. They blow up the place, and the guy catches on fire. Real explosion, real fire effect, stuntman. And this was about like this film has a sense of humor to it. It has to, with some of the lines. Like the big guy Mo, he has a meeting with people, and it's like, well, how are we going to fight people with grenade launchers? And this guy goes, "We get bigger grenade launchers." And I'm like, when you write a line like that, you gotta have a sense of humor. It has to. And again, this guy, along with the girl, the brother who died, they go off to meet Mo's friend, our main character, Steve Railsback, who he's a PI, and before they meet him, we see a scene where he's drinking, and he wants another drink, and this guy's fucking with him. And so the guy punches Steve Railsback in the stomach, and he's like, and pukes on the guy. Then the sucker punches the guy, takes the guy's face, and slams it right into the table, and then sits down. And then later on, when the big guy Mo and the girl meet Steve Railsback at his office, he sees like a rat, and he gets his gun. It's like, "I told you to stay away from those fucking donuts," and starts shooting at the rat. That's what I mean. Like, Steve Railsback is pretty fun to watch here. And I mean, the rest of the film, you know, he says he's not the guy you want. He's not much of a guy anymore. Baddies fuck up the neighborhood. Since Mo couldn't get Steve Railsback to do it for him, they have these. Again, this scene is such a comedic scene. It's like this is definitely a sense of humor, because they should hold auditions because they want a vigilante. They want to hire a vigilante because the cops aren't doing their job. A lot of them are paid off. They want to hire a vigilante, get somebody, hire a vigilante. So all these guys who come in to audition, a guy like takes off his clothes, he starts showing his muscles. Another guy sits down and says, "I'll kill anything." And then starts to talk about something with he was a kid and this kitten, and then doesn't finish the story. And then a fucking ninja auditions. And you're like, okay, this is definitely not a film to take too seriously. And it has to be on purpose. It has to be. But then finally, Steve Railsback decides to help out, and he even the first time they see him after those auditions, he's actually pissed at his car and starts shooting the engine block of his car because it broke down. And he starts doing stuff. There's these bikers who have this stereo that's too loud and fucks up their stereo and beats them up. And he pretty much gets cleaned up and works out. And this is the disappointing thing about this is after that, Steve Railsback doesn't really do a whole lot. Like, it's not him going around and gunning people. It's nothing like that. It's pretty much scaring people because he has a shotgun. Like, the neighborhood hasn't been getting mail, so some guys are taking the mail and Steve Railsback's there with a shotgun. Or they try to assault this vehicle and they open the door and there's Steve Railsback with a shotgun. There are people doing graffiti. It's just Steve Railsback threatening them with a shotgun. Not firing it, not doing much of it, just threatening them. And I thought, you know, this should be a lot more to this. I mean, it's kind of lame that it's just pretty much he's just scaring these with a shotgun, not even firing it, not even shooting it, just he's there with a shotgun. And I'm like, well, couldn't anyone do this? I mean, he's not fighting them. He's not, other than those bikers I said before, but all these other guys, he's not punching them, kicking them, fighting them. He's just there with a shotgun. And again, I'm like, couldn't anyone do this? Did you need to hire Steve Railsback for this? I mean, the big guy, Mo, could have done the same thing. He did the same thing at the beginning when he had a shotgun and made the guy eat the chili peppers. I mean, so that I thought was kind of lame. I'm like, there should have been much more to it. And ultimately, the police chief comes over there because the head bad guy gives him some money and says, hey, if you guys leave, you can have this money. They say no. Steve Railsback, since this is the guy that fucked him over 8 years ago, punches him in the stomach. He gets arrested. And again, this is sort of really random scene because he gets arrested, and all of a sudden there's these two guys, not hired by Michael Champion, not with the bad guys, just two random guys who just start fighting people, and then they try to fight Steve Railsback, and Steve Railsback kicks their ass. And then they're like, oh, hey, you know, you're cool, man, and gets their respect. It's like, hey, you're cool, man. How'd you do that? Man, no one's beating the both of us. Man, you're cool, man. Pretty much, I guess it's true. When you beat someone up, you can become friends with them, and that's what happens. And I'm like, okay. And Michael Champion, even though he's a dirty cop, so he was okay with doing this stuff, but he's not okay with killing. So he lets Steve Railsback out of jail. And then the two guys are like, hey, if you need us, let us know. And I'm thinking, okay, let me guess, the ending of the film? Yeah, this sort of random scene thrown in just to sub these two guys so that they're at the end of the film. And that's, yep. But he gets back. Steve Railsback buddy gets killed. He's a bit depressed about that. James Liu and some bad guys come in, start fucking up the neighborhood. But then Steve Railsback drives in. Okay, cool, this is the ending. Steve Railsback hasn't been doing too much in the middle, but okay, this is him to do much. And it didn't disappoint. Steve Railsback doesn't do that much. He turns with his car, he shoots 2 or 3 people from his car, gets in, 2 guns, shoots, I don't know, 3 people at most with his gun. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, there's only 3 bad guys left. And of course, those 2 guys he befriended in jail, you know, come in and it's 3-on-3. And his 2 buddies do well. His 2 buddies, they know martial arts and they kick the other 2 bad guys' ass. But Steve Railsback, he gets his ass kicked by James Lou. He gets his ass kicked, gets his ass kicked, gets his ass kicked some more. And the girl has to save him and shoots James Lou in the shoulder. And then the other guys come in and shoot James Lou and kill him. And I'm like, Steve Railsback's the guy you hired. And okay, he did a little bit with the car, and he scared some folks, but he didn't scare them by shooting the shotgun or blowing people away. Just and he even got his ass kicked by James Lou. His two buddies did well and beat the bad guy ass, but Steve Railsback didn't. Even though previously you've been showing how much of a badass he is, even drunk, beating up a guy and beating those two guys up in jail, but yet, nope, can't, for some reason can't handle this guy. No, the girl and the such have to save him. He doesn't really get any licks into the bad guy. And then once again, he goes to the head bad guy, Stuart Whitman, and tells him, you know, that you lost. And does Steve Railsback kill that bad guy? No, Michael Champion does. Shoots that guy with a shotgun because the guy was fucked with Michael Champion. The chief of police guy was being fucked with by Stuart Whitman. So Stuart Whitman gets shot in the stomach with a shotgun. Good practical effect. And he tells Steve Railsback, you know, don't tell anyone. You know, isn't obvious? Death by suicide. And Steve Railsback leaves, and Michael Champion gets the last word on the bad guy. And I'm like, okay, it's unconventional, I guess, but I mean, I like the film. I liked the film for Steve Railsback. I thought it had a fun sense of humor, had, you know, some pretty decent stunt sequences, action set piece. Well, I don't want to say set pieces. That make it sound too big. Those action scenes. But come on, give Steve Railsback more to do. I know he's not a martial artist. I know that. I'm not saying he needs to dish out martial arts. But you're showing him beat the two guys in jail, and showing him fight the bikers. The whole middle is just him with that shotgun, just he's there, and then, okay, we won't do it because he has a shotgun, because I guess none of the other bad guys have guns. You would think, oh, there'd be shootouts, and Steve Railsback takes them out, or takes care of them, and the bad guys' numbers are dwindling, and that's why they have to do it, because they're desperate. No! Apparently none of the other bad guys have weapons, except that guy at the beginning who killed the guy. You know, the girl's brother at the beginning. And even then, okay, Steve Railsback drives in with a car and fucks up a couple people. I don't know, 5 at most, maybe. But then he gets his ass kicked by James Lou. And then the others have to kill him, not Steve Railsback. And then he doesn't even kill the main head boss, Michael Champion, the chief of police, that he's kind of sort of a good guy, but kind of not, I guess. Because he's not as crooked. And I don't know, just that really was... At the end of the day, I like the film. If you like action films, I'd say give it a look, because I like Steve Railsback. It's a fast-paced film. It's 90 minutes. It's a pretty decent PM entertainment film, but give your hero more to do, at least at the ending. Okay, at the beginning, I would give, you know, him some gun play with that shotgun. I don't remember him even shooting that shotgun that he has. I don't even remember him shooting the shotgun. I don't remember him doing that at all. So that should have been done. Is give him some shotgun fun in the middle. And have him at least kick the bad guy's ass at the end. I mean, so disappointed by the ending of the film. Disappointed by some aspects of the film. But at the end of the day, would I watch this again? Yeah. For Steve Railsback's performance, for the sense of humor, entertaining, time waster. I mean, I've seen better PM entertainment films. I think Land of the Free with Jeff Speedman's PM entertainment, I think is better. Some stuff with Gary Daniels. I think Riot is PM entertainment, and Last Man Standing with Jeff Wincott. I think that's PM entertainment. If not, I'm mistaken. It's just I've seen much worse though as well, PM entertainment. So this is a decent. You know, I liked the film, but I think it could have been better. So overall, I liked it. Like, if it was 2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down, I'd give it a thumb up. You know, sort of like 3 out of 5 stars, or Maybe, no, probably like 3.5 out of 5 stars. I rarely give those kind of ratings, but it's just, overall I liked it, but there's things I would have changed. That's just my opinion. But anyway, thanks for watching, take care, and stay tuned for another review. Later.